Have you ever looked around at your life and thought, everything is fine, but something's just missing? You've got that empty feeling inside. You're not burnt out, you're not in crisis, but you're stuck in a rut. You've lost the spark and you're not quite sure how to get it back. Sometimes having a personal coach can be the most powerful thing in the world. But maybe you're not quite ready for that investment of time and energy or for someone in your space just yet. So today I'm going to be giving you the exact steps to start shifting your life right now, no coach required. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because something that I do very regularly, okay? When I hit that point of okay, I need a refresh, I need to look at some areas of my life, I feel a bit stagnant here, and I do this. It is very straightforward and simple. So what you're going to do first is step one, you are going to map out your life honestly. And by the way, this isn't going to take forever. This can be a quick 10-15 minute task, or it can be, you can have it an hour long, you can make it into a whole experience for yourself. It's up to you. But the key is being honest and just working with what you've got, and that comes with time and resources. So you're going to open up your journal or a Google Doc and you're going to create a space for each key area of your life. So you can literally type this out, and if you really want the document that I use, just comment doc below and I'll send you a copy of the Google Doc. Okay, so you have health and fitness, mindset, relationships, social life, personal success, financial, and spiritual. These are the areas, the 7 areas that I believe are fundamental to have in check, to have balance and happiness in your life. And obviously to be working towards fulfillment. So what you're now going to do, now that you've got each of those areas of your life written down, you've identified the areas that essentially need to be in check for you to be having this happy, fulfilling, contented, incredible life, you need to get now radically honest with yourself. Now we don't have to all have a set way of actually documenting this. So you don't have to write a full paragraph about all of the things, but maybe that helps you. Maybe you're someone who loves to talk, loves to express themselves, loves to get things down on paper. If that's you, take your time. If you're a writer, do it creatively. That's not me. I'm just short, straight to the point. I don't need to write whole soliloquies about this and, huge texts. Bullet points, short, snappy sentences are enough for me, really summarising the key things. So, how are you feeling in your health and fitness recently? For example, let's start with the first one. So, are you feeling like you're in your peak healthy condition, or are there areas of your life that you're letting slip? Now, the key here is to understand that it's not about being perfect in your eyes, because you're never going to be perfect, because guess what? Well, okay, you're already perfect, but you're never going to hit the ultimate, because there's always going to be space to grow. So think about it in terms of what's going well, and think about what actually could you be improving upon. So for myself, thinking about health and fitness, I could say, I know I feel very comfortable. I'm a very healthy person. I feel like that. I feel like I am nourishing my body as healthily as I can. Yeah, I have the odd cake and sugar and, these things now and again. But I feel like generally on a day-to-day basis, I'm a very healthy person and I make really good choices. I'm happy about that. I've recently also rejoined the gym just because of my own mental I suppose it's not that I have to go, it's not that I'm looking to lose weight, it's just I want to be strong, I want to be powerful, and I like personally to just get out. So I've got all the things I need at home, but now that my baby, he's on a really good nap routine, he has a nice long nap in the afternoons, I can do that now. So it means that I can get out of the house. It's like a cabin fever a bit sometimes when you're stuck to the routines and you're doing all the things in the house and you're just spinning all the plates. Sometimes you just need to get out. So more than anything, doing that and making sure that I maintain a good muscle mass and even build some more lean muscle is very important to me. So that was one of the areas that I wanted to work on. And also just keeping things fresh and new and not doing the same old routines. But you have to think, maybe you're not in that situation. Maybe you're like, hey, I really neglected myself recently. I really got out of shape. I'm actually really feeling embarrassed to say that I have not done anything for my health and fitness, and I slipped into some really bad habits. Now listen, that can be everyone. We can all be there and we can all feel like that. But really, instead of looking at these points and saying, oh, and like crucifying yourself for each one, it's about looking at and honestly just saying, my health and fitness has really slipped, and it's a key aspect of my life because health is wealth. Why do you think I started with that element? Because if you don't have your health, if you don't have your fitness, then nothing really is going to feel good for you in life. Nothing. And fitness impacts your mental health on a huge scale. So it impacts your mindset, it impacts everything. So that's why I put that one first. But think about it. Honestly, and just say, like, I'm not going to judge myself. I'm not going to feel bad about where I'm at, but I'm just going to jot it down. Like, this is what I'm doing well, because you will be doing some things well. At least you're trying, but maybe there's other areas where, you're not feeling good and that needs to be looked at. And this is what it's all about. So in this particular video, I'm just giving you the whole point isn't to look at the 7 areas of your life, but it's to actually help you to break it down. So we go through health and fitness, you go through your mindset, what things are you really doing well in, but where are you struggling with your mindset? Are there any areas where you're feeling, actually, I don't feel confident in this, or I need to work on that, or, whatever. Same with relationships, your social life, personal success, financial, and spiritual. So think about all these different things. And when I say spiritual, I'm not talking about religions and all that kind of thing. I'm just saying connecting with your purpose and your creator. How are you doing with that? So don't judge it, don't fix anything, just get out of your head all of this that you've been thinking about, because you have been, but you might not be aware. Get all of that out of your head and down onto the paper or on the page in front of you. And as I always say, when you get it down on paper, it just releases so much tension from your mind and your body, and this alone is just so powerful. So what we do then is, when we've sort of broken down all the 7 areas and all the things that we are doing well and all the things that actually we would love and desire to improve upon a little bit, we're now going to identify what needs to change right now. So once it's sitting there in front of you, you're going to notice that one area is calling you louder than the rest. That's your priority. That's your focus. The one area that you think you really let things slip at the moment and really need some attention, that's your focus. You're not going to try and change out anything at once. You're not going to overhaul your whole life in a whole day. But you don't want to, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself with a total life transformation, and you're like thinking, because you're like, I've got all this to do, and I don't, you need to learn these things piece by piece. I was saying to you about health and fitness before and feeling confident in my health and wellness. Well, that didn't come overnight. I learned some things and I knew some things and I was okay with it. But one thing that really helped me was tracking my daily intake of food using MyFitnessPal. So tracking all my meals. And that really helped me. But at first it was ridiculously overwhelming. I felt so stressed out about it because I knew that I wanted to hit a certain amount of protein. I knew I wanted to hit at least 100 grams of protein a day, which I usually just about make, sometimes go over. I knew I wanted to have really good fibre in my diet, but I also wanted to have a low carbohydrate focus as well. And so that was quite tricky to get the balance right, because many foods contain carbohydrates, so I wasn't able to stick with the diet that I had before. I had to really change everything, and it was quite overwhelming and stressful trying to prepare all these meals and make all these meals, and at the same time input it into MyFitnessPal. When you've got a baby running about that needs you, when you've got people coming into the kitchen, when you've got all this going on, it's overwhelming at first. But the overwhelm soon turned into, oh, I see some results. And the results and the overwhelm soon turned into, oh, I have a lot more clarity on how this works now. Now probably don't need to be tracking what I'm consuming in a day, but I do it anyway because what gets measured gets results, and there's still areas that I want to refine even more. So that was super overwhelming for me, but I didn't do that at once and then started, I didn't do all of that, and then I didn't say, oh well, I'm also going to start the gym this week, and I'm also going to I don't know, all the different things I'm going to cut out. I didn't say, oh, I'm going to do all of this at once. I just said, I'm simply going to do one overwhelming thing because I know that's what I have to do. I need more clarity on this. I need to educate myself, and I've learned so much from that. So you just start with one thing and then gradually you build it up. So I would say start where it hurts most, because that's where your emotion is. That's where your internal guidance system is saying, hey, this isn't good. This isn't where you're meant to be. Focus on that first, where you feel the most inspired to shift. And that's step 2. That's it. And how do we make the shift now is the important point. So simply reverse engineer your next level. So what I want you to do when you've done all of that is you stop, put your hand on your heart, breathe. And I just want you to imagine, in this area of your life, how could things look if it was your ultimate perfect outcome? If everything was just as perfect as it would be in your dream life, if you were actually living in this fantasy, in this movie where everything went right, how would it look for you? How would your life look? What would be happening? And just get crystal clear on that picture in your mind. I'm not talking about random Pinterest quotes here, but in reality, what would you be doing? What boundaries would be in place? What habits would be non-negotiable for you? Who would you start showing up as? It's like me going back to the whole, I want to really refine how I look and feel in my health and fitness. So at first, I was actually having to change things. Like, I was having to not snack in the afternoons. I was having to not snack between my meals, full stop. Because those are non-negotiable habits for someone who respects their body. They eat their meal, they give their body a chance to rest and digest before they move on to something else. They make sure that they're not emotionally eating, they're dealing with their feelings instead of just randomly numbing them with a quick cortisol hit from some, or not cortisol, dopamine hit from some random foods. No, they're actually respecting their body enough to say, you're eating your meals, they're healthy, there's no reason for you to be eating in between those meals. And if you are hungry, it just means you need to supplement that next time. But these sound easy, but they're not actually when you're in the habit of something. So you need to start small and start intuitively. Just like ask yourself, what's the very next step I can take to move in that direction today? And that's all, because all these things are going to compound. It's like I said in my video, you can search for it, it's like the gateway drug. You basically just want to make tiny changes, and those will all impact upon each other. And you'll create this huge domino effect where you start small, like cutting out the afternoon snack. You start by adding a slow walk into your day. And before you know it, you'll look back, if you keep making small positive changes every day, that 1% change every day, you're going to have grown, expanded, and up-leveled exponentially over the next few months. You could actually look and feel and be an entirely different version of yourself in 3 months' time. Now think about it. That's really not long. That's only about 12 weeks, give or take. That's not long. Do you know how fast a week can fly in? Well, imagine that times 12. The differences that you make today, the tiny micro actions you take, will impact you in your future life like nothing else will. And that's one thing that you need to understand. It's not the big things that you're doing. It's not like I'm joining a gym and I'm going to do a big routine. It's like my goal for joining the gym this time was not to go and do the hardest workout session I could, or spend as long in the gym as I could, or have certain gains or like reductions by this time. It's simply to show up every say I've mapped out, like, say 4 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever you want to do. It's simply just to show up. Be there, go there. It doesn't actually matter what you do in the early stages. It only matters that you are showing up and being consistent. And if you can do that for 3 weeks, you've got yourself a new habit. It's like the morning thing. It's like if you're going from the big carby breakfast in the morning, the porridge, the berries, all the peanut butter and all that kind of stuff. You're going from all of that and your coffees or your lattes and your milky, sugary, all that stuff. That's going to hurt at first, going from that to a black coffee. But when you do that for a few days, when you do that, you'll start to become aware that actually it's not so bad now, and you kind of look forward to your new routine. And when you see the changes on the scale, if that's your goal, you're going to see like huge results, and it would just compound over time, naturally. And you'll start to feel so much better within yourself as well. So it's just the small changes that kind of hurt at first, but then you realize, oh, actually it's not that bad. And even you start to have like little mindset shifts now and again. So what I realized as I was going through this journey was I used to always say, like, they would say, you know, eat intuitively. If you want this, take this. No, I don't think that's what intuitive eating is actually all about. It's not about caving into all your sugary cravings. But I'd be like, oh, I fancy this, so I will get that sometime, either this weekend or whenever. Or, oh, I fancy something sweet. I would go and find something sweet, rather than actually sitting and saying, you're maybe kind of tired, and that's why your body's searching for sugar to try and give you that quick fix. Or is there something emotionally that you need to sort out or resolve right now? Is there something on your mind? You know, like, I realized everyone has cravings, but not everyone actually acts on their cravings. And that's the difference between you having your dream body and actually being stuck where you are all the time. The old you would have gone and caved in and done all of that, and then it would have become a daily habit because, well, we did it yesterday, so we're going to do it again tomorrow because, you know, why not? It won't make a big difference, but it does make a big difference. Because every single day you say, no, I'm not doing that, that's not me anymore, that's not how my dream self, my higher self shows up. She just says, oh yeah, okay, you're having a craving, that's interesting. Okay, let's see what we can do for you. Let's see if we can maybe replace that with, you know, you get like those options, hot chocolates, what's 40 calories or something. It's not going to kill you, but it's certainly not going to equate to the same as that like 400 calorie slice of chocolate cake. And then next day, you probably won't have that same craving because you'll be a bit better rested. But in your mind, you didn't go for the snack, you went for a nice drink instead. Next time, you'll maybe go for a coffee or a tea, or like I've got my green tea ready for me for when I'm uploading this. All of that, it's just making small choices, and basically what you're doing, you're creating brand new pathways in your brain that helps you to operate on a daily basis. You're upgrading your operating system, just like that. So really, that's it, beautiful. No guru, no rules, just your inner truth and a plan to follow it, and that's the truth. And if you're not in the space for that right now, if you're not in the space to take on a coach who's going to support you, who's going to be there for you, who's going to understand how you feel, then and help you move forward, you can 100% do all of this by yourself. Okay, that's why I'm so passionate about coaching, about mentoring, because I have always had to do it myself. I've always had to deal with all of these things personally, and so I had to come up with almost like a process for it, because if I don't help me, no one else is going to. Okay, I can just rest on my laurels and I can just say, oh well, you know, that's the way I am and that's the way I've been programmed, and so that's it pretty much. Or I can say, no, I'm actually going to change things. I'm going to be my best self. Well, how do I do it? If I don't have role models to look up to, or if I don't have people coaching me, I can coach myself, and that's it. But if you do want some bespoke guidance, if you do want somebody to be in your corner and you don't actually want to show up for the sessions, then the spark activation is your next step, because it's a tailored deep dive just from me to you. It's privately recorded and it will give you the clarity and the strategy that you need to reignite your passion for life again, to get on the road to being your highest self. And I do that through essentially giving you some important information to tell me about you, so I can really truly understand your situation. And that's how I'm able to do that for you. But sometimes you just need that bit of clarity to get you accelerating forward in the right direction and making that really fast progress. And if that is something that sounds like it would really help you, then the link to the Spark activation is your next step. And there's a link below with so many more details and information about that. So you can grab that as well at shop.mrsmanifestation.com/spark. And I will see you in the next episode. Make sure you've liked, subscribed to the channel, and you let me know in the comments if any of this was impactful, if you tried any of this before. But until then, I'll see you in the next episode or in Spark, and have an amazing one. You've got this.